Теперь Котлеев совершенно забил те уроки, которые все.
Bodybuilders had the muscles, the mass, the myth of invincibility. But when they stepped into the cage, they faced something no gym could prepare them for.
He did it all, he did it again.
From Eddie Hall bulldozing two opponents
And on the single leg, trying to fight, picking one guy up, slaps him down, and
to Bob Sapp collapsing in seconds. These moments shattered every illusion of strength. Brace yourself for the 15 moments when bodybuilders are attacked brutally by MMA fighters. Bob Sapp versus Ayurigale. Bob Sapp was the beast, a walking colossus who flattened men for sport. Across from him stood Ayurigale, the so-called chubby king.
big right hand. Oh, and J-Hub goes down, and Ayurigale just finishes him.
Carrying the weight of a nation's disbelief and the calm of a man who's been underestimated one too many times. But when both came that night in Road FC, everyone learned which one of them was perilous. Sapp entered like a villain ripped from a comic book chest out, arms swinging, every movement screaming dominance. Ayurigale just smiled, bouncing on his feet like it was sparring day at the gym. The crowd laughed. How could this round-faced underdog possibly survive the beast? What they didn't know was that this panda had already sent men like Kim Jae-hun and Kawaguchi crashing face first into the mat, one by one, until mockery turned into fear. Then came the bell. Sapp stormed forward, wild and heavy-handed. Ayurigale waited, composed, circling, feinting, baiting. 35 seconds in, the storm met the sniper. Ayurigale slipped a punch, coiled, and unleashed a right hand that cracked like a gunshot. The beast froze, eyes vacant, body seizing, then collapsed like a falling tower. 40 seconds flat, the myth of invincibility gone. As the crowd exploded, Ayurigale stood over the wreckage, calm, unshaken, victorious. In that moment, the chubby king wasn't funny anymore. He was the man who proved that all the muscle in the world means nothing when skill and timing decide the throne. Up next, another so-called unstoppable strongman steps into the cage and discovers what happens when brute strength meets real combat. Umar Kane versus Patrick Schmid. Patrick Schmid came in bouncing on his toes, shoulders loose, eyes sharp, energy brimming. The Swiss striker looked ready to hunt. His opponent, Umar Kane, is a Senegalese wrestling titan carved from granite. Schmid's plan was simple: outbox the wrestler, keep it clean, keep it mobile. But this fight will show whether his plan succeeded or not. They touched gloves, and Schmid immediately fired a quick jab, then a crisp right hand snapping through the air. The crowd leaned forward, but Rug didn't blink. He exploded forward like a human freight train, driving Schmid straight into the cage.
Coming at it, but now he's putting the hands on Swiss. Big uppercut right cross.
The boxer's footwork vanished under pressure. In seconds, the Senegalese monster changed levels, scooped Schmid clean off his feet, and slammed him to the canvas like a sledgehammer hitting dirt. From there, it was pure domination.
Dominating inside that clinch.
This could be the beginning of the end.
Ryug slid into side control, his bulk suffocating, every movement deliberate. Then came the mount, and the hammering began.
Schmid does not want to be here inside of 1 minute 15 of the open.
His fists dropped like meteors, each one bouncing Schmid's head off the canvas. The referee hesitated for a breath too long, just long enough for the crowd to wince before diving in to save the helpless striker. 50 seconds. That's all it took. The hype, the stance, the boxing precision erased by raw prehistoric power. Rug rose, chest heaving, eyes wild. This wasn't just a victory, it was a reminder that in the cage,
Goes 2-0. Who can stop this behemoth?
technique bends to chaos when a man built like a myth decides he's done playing nice.
He is real, and he is now 2-0 in one champion.
In the next fight, Powerhouse learns the truth. No amount of polish survives a punch from the gods. Alistair Overeem versus Kazuyuki Fujita. Kazuyuki Fujita, the man who once rocked Fedor Emelianenko and kept walking forward through wars that would have retired mortals.
Back with a good 1-2 and a series of jackhammer-like uppercuts.
But that night in Saitama, the myth of indestructibility was about to meet something entirely different. Alistair Overeem, a Dutch demolition machine at the height of his terrifying evolution.
That's it. It's over.
Fujita looked ready, circling the ring with a veteran's calm. But Overeem, he looked like he'd been sculpted out of bad intentions, veins coiled, every step deliberate. The commentators joked about Fujita's neck being the thickest in MMA history. It wouldn't matter.
Fujita looks way more tan than we last saw him.
And he looks a little heavier than the last time I saw him, too.
Within moments, Overeem closed the distance, his movements smooth, predatory. Fujita threw cautious jabs, trying to keep space.
Yeah, I know. I said he's actually bigger than the last time we saw him.
That's the knee I spoke about.
Then came the clinch. For anyone else, it was a position. For Overeem, it was execution. He grabbed hold, locked Fujita's head, and unleashed a knee that detonated like a mortar shell. Fujita staggered, glassy-eyed but still standing. Overeem adjusted his grip on one more knee, full torque, straight to the temple. Silence. The iron head collapsed, body stiff, falling backward in slow motion. The referee sprinted in, doctors followed, and the crowd hushed.
Good night, Irene!
It was over in under 3 minutes, just as Overeem had promised. That night, the myth cracked. The man once known for surviving anything met a force that didn't just hit hard, it hit perfectly. Overeem didn't just win, he ended an era. And somewhere in that stunned arena, everyone watching understood. When technique meets power in its purest form, even iron eventually breaks. Eddie Hall versus Nafati brothers. It started like a circus act and ended like a crime scene. Eddie, the world's strongest man, stepped into the cage not against one opponent, but two, the Nafati twins, Jamil and Jamel. What followed was a slow, tense build toward one of the most absurd and brutal finishes in combat history.
Speed that Eddie ran across the cage, and there we go! He's on the single leg, trying to fight, picking one guy up, slams him down, Eddie!
The brothers darted around the cage like scared deer, circling wide, throwing half-hearted leg kicks that bounced off Eddie like raindrops on armor. He stood in the center, hands ready, jaw clenched, part fighter, part volcano, waiting to erupt.
I would like to see some coordinated attacks at the same time, but it's not always easy. The ref is having to run now.
The crowd's excitement turned to mockery. Minutes passed, no real punches landed. Even the referee pleaded with the twins to fight, but the brothers kept running, desperate to stay alive. By round 3, Eddie's patience was gone. The beast unleashed. He sprinted across the cage with surprising speed, snatched one brother by the leg, and hurled him to the mat.
On the single leg, trying to fight, picking one guy.
As the twin tried to rise, Eddie's right hand came down like a hammer from heaven, a single thunderous shot that shut the lights out instantly.
Slams him down, Eddie Hall! The right hand for Eddie Hall! He's done.
One down. The fight wasn't over. The remaining brother tried to avenge him, only to be bulldozed. Eddie closed the gap, jabbed once.
Is Eddie going to get on top? He's spinning out his bicycle.
Clean, precise, and the man crumbled. A few ground strikes later, the referee had seen enough.
Ground and pound from Eddie. Oh, short shots, and he's calling it up. He gets the
Double KO. 2 men, 1 monster, 1 minute 58. The arena exploded. Eddie Hall roared, chest heaving, proving that sometimes strength alone is the technique. And somewhere between cheers and disbelief, everyone realized this wasn't a fight. It was a warning. When you challenge a beast, you'd better come with claws. Alen Galani versus Igor Subora. 2 heavyweights entered the cage that night, both built like action figures, both carrying knockout power. But only one of them was born for violence. For a moment, the crowd saw a slow prowl of two men circling, testing distance. Subora's guard was high, confident.
You can see it. Oh, wow.
Then in a flash, Ngalani struck. No build-up and warning.
Like pulling it all the way back from Hong Kong. Ooh, that was a nice body shot right.
A right hand so fast it was almost invisible, cut through the air and detonated on Subora's jaw.
They're just so strong and powerful. You gotta be careful once you feel that your opponent.
The Ukrainian's lights went out instantly, body stiff, head snapping back, collapsing like a tower losing power. 31 seconds. That's all it took. The referee barely had time to blink before sprinting in. Ngalani stood over his fallen opponent, calm, expressionless, the face of a man who'd just done his job.
Subora is grazed and possibly cut on the head. Olivia Cox is ready to pounce. It's finished.
The crowd erupted as the replay rolled. One perfect kill shot, executed with mechanical precision. That wasn't brute strength, it was craftsmanship. Every muscle in Ngalani's body had moved in harmony, trained for one purpose, to end fights fast. As Subora lay flat, staring into the lights, the message was clear. Muscles impress, but mastery terrifies. Ngalani's fist ended that night in half a minute, and somewhere another so-called powerhouse was realizing that he might be next. Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin. When bodybuilders dream of dominance, they dream of being Brock Lesnar, 6'3", carved from steel, a Division I wrestling champion turned WWE monster, turned UFC heavyweight king.
Heavyweight title on the line. Couture is down. Lesnar is trying to finish. Brock Lesnar has done it. Wow.
Across from him stood Shane Carwin, not just a fighter, but a mechanical engineer with dynamite in his fists. A man who'd knocked out every opponent he'd ever faced in the first round. This was a collision between raw fury and controlled destruction. From the opening, Carwin came in like a storm. Lesnar swung first, looking for an early takedown, but Carwin's defense held.
And he did it right there to Carwin. And now he wants the takedown.
Then came the right hand, a piston straight to the temple. The beast stumbled. The crowd roared. Carwin followed with an avalanche of punches, elbows raining down like a demolition site.
Shane Carwin! Unbelievable! Pounding away!
Lesnar, bloody and gasping, was pinned against the cage, eyes wide, fighting gravity itself. Every hit echoed like a drum beat announcing the fall of a champion, but somehow he survived.
Big right hands! You can hear him, Joe!
Round one ended with Carwin towering over him, breathing heavy, muscles trembling, his arms leaden from the onslaught. Lesnar stood, battered but smiling. Because he'd seen it, Carwin was spent. Round two flipped the script. Lesnar's shot was clean, his takedown brutal.
There's the big shot. There it is. He's got him on his back. This is bad for Shane Carwin.
He mounted the engineer, trapping him beneath a mountain of rage and redemption. Then, like a predator sensing weakness, Lesnar slid into an arm triangle choke, his biceps tightening around Carwin's neck until the tap came.
One of the strongest men in the mixed martial arts world. It is all over! It is all over!
Lesnar rose, blood still streaming down his face, arms raised like a gladiator who refused to die. The crowd knew it. They just watched the beast get broken, only to come back hungrier.
Brock Lesnar, winner by submission!
Up next, another so-called titan enters the cage and learns that strength fades fast when your willpower runs out. Ryo Kawamura versus Melvin Manhoef. The lights in the arena hadn't even dimmed before chaos started brewing. Ryo Kawamura, Japan's beloved brawler, marched forward like a soldier who only knew one direction. But tonight he faced Melvin, No Mercy Manhoef, a fighter whose every punch looked like it could tear the ring in half. From the start, there was no hesitation. Manhoef darted forward, a blur of motion, every muscle in his body tuned for detonation.
2.25 minutes that we've had. Whoa. Well, look at this.
Kawamura tried to find range, keeping his chin high, a fatal error against a man who doesn't miss twice. Then came the right hand, An explosion disguised as a punch. It landed flush, snapping Kawamura's head sideways, sending his body crashing to the canvas in an instant.
Did it again. Big right hand. Well, he did what he did.
The sound was sickening. As Manhoef raised his fists, the crowd's roar mixed awe with disbelief. You could almost feel the tremor, that thin line between power and overkill. But the next clash would prove that sometimes one well-placed knee can end a career. Tim Sylvia versus Mariusz Pudzianowski. The crowd came to see the impossible, the world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski, stepping into a cage to test muscle against experience. 5-time strongman champion. Across from him stood Tim Sylvia, former UFC heavyweight champion, a man who'd seen every kind of monster and learned how to dismantle them piece by piece. T was clear this wasn't a strength competition anymore. Pudzianowski charged forward, bull-rushing Sylvia into the cage, trying to drag him down by sheer will. But Sylvia stayed calm, framing, posting, using leverage instead of panic. The strong man's arms flexed, but his energy evaporated with every failed attempt. By the 1-minute mark, the tide had turned.
Będzie chciał trafić Mariusza, ma dłuższe ręce, będzie starał się prostymi, ale Mirek Ogiński mówił, Mariusz...
Sylvia began jabbing long, piston-like punches, snapping through Pudzianowski's guard. Blood opened on the Pole's forehead. Round 2 began with Sylvia stalking his prey.
Ale oczywiście wygrał tę rundę i to wygrał ją zdecydowanie.
Every low kick echoed through the arena. Every straight right hand reminded the world that precision humiliates brute force. Pudzianowski's chest heaved, his legs slowed, his confidence leaked away. When he collapsed to his back, it wasn't a strategy, it was surrender. Sylvia stepped in, dropped elbows, and the unthinkable happened. The world's strongest man tapped out from exhaustion and pain.
Odczuwał te ciosy, to będzie początek końca.
Sylvia raised his hand, expression blank, like a man who just solved an equation. Power can build legends, but in the cage, it also builds targets. And the next fight would show just how quickly precision can turn strength into liability. Fabricio Werdum versus Roy Nelson. Under the blinding lights of UFC 143, two very different heavyweights squared off, one sculpted by science, the other by stubbornness. From the start, Werdum refused to play Nelson's game. He met power with precision, angles instead of impact. Nelson loaded up that notorious overhand, right the same weapon that had slept giants, but Werdum saw it coming, sliding just out of range and answering with sharp knees from the clinch. Each one landed like a warning shot, folding Nelson's defense a little more each time. Then came blood. Werdum's nose broke early, a gruesome snap that would have rattled most fighters. Instead, it lit a fire. With his face streaming red, he pressed forward, mixing Muay Thai brutality with surgical control.
All that damage was done by the knees, and there's another one.
Nelson absorbed everything, face swelling, body staggering, but he kept swinging, chasing a knockout that never came. By round 3, it looked less like a fight and more like endurance art, two men standing in defiance, one outsmarting, the other outlasting. When the final horn sounded, Werdum's hand rose, a crimson victory painted across his face. That night, fans saw something rare, a technician willing to bleed just to prove that skill doesn't just survive against brute strength, it dominates it. And while Nelson's chin became legend, the next clash would show what happens when even an iron head finally meets an unstoppable knee. Ivan Shtirkov versus Yasube Enomoto. Ivan, the Ural Hulk. Shtirkov was a monster in motion, a bodybuilder trapped inside a fighter's skin. He'd crushed veterans, walked through wars, and never tasted defeat. But this night, in a smaller weight class, in a tighter frame, he stepped into the cage carrying more than muscle. He carried exhaustion waiting to happen. Yasube Enomoto, wiry and razor-focused, was everything Shtirkov wasn't. As the starting, the Hulk charged forward like a tank.
Иван на бой, вчера он об этом рассказал, что для него очень важно выступление в этом весе.
Instantly dragging Enomoto down to the canvas. The crowd roared as he hammered from side control, muscle flexing, sweat flying. For a while, it looked like the Russian juggernaut was unstoppable. But each slam, each squeeze drained him a little more. Enomoto waited coiled, calculating. When the second round began, the tide flipped. The Swiss samurai started landing clean, snapping shots that forced Stierkov backward. The once immovable Hulk began to look human.
Она хорошо сейчас вот сбоку зацепил оверхендом.
А слева еще разок хорошо от Штыркова.
His breathing heavy, his movements slower. Then came the moment Stierkov shot for another takedown out of desperation. Enomoto sprawled, reversed, and in one fluid motion, took the back.
Эй,
Да, не хватило немножечко Ивану для того, чтобы самому перевести.
The choke sank in like a trapdoor snapping shut. The Ural Hulk clawed, thrashed, tried to pry free, but Enomoto's grip only tightened. Within seconds, the muscle titan tapped the first defeat of his career, and while Stierkov's tap echoed like thunder through the arena,
и Субей Эномото теперь по праву может называться настоящим убийцей уральских бойцов.
another mountain of muscle was already walking toward his own downfall, this time against a master of cold, methodical destruction. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. It was a clash that looked like a video game come to life, the sculpted juggernaut versus the striking savant. From the opening second, Adesanya began his quiet dissection. No wild exchanges, just precision. His target Costa's lead leg. Each kick cracked like a whip, slicing tendons, draining confidence.
He's getting in terms of his strikes and putting some power behind them.
Costa tried to play it cool, smirking through the pain, pretending it didn't hurt. But his leg was betraying him, turning red, swelling, dying by degrees. By round two, the trap was set. Costa's legs were led, his forward charge gone. Adesanya switched gears low to high, rhythm to chaos.
Look at the bruising too.
A feint drew Costa's guard down, then a high kick grazed the temple. The Brazilian stumbled, his equilibrium gone. Adesanya closed in, gliding forward with sniper precision, and unleashed a left hand so clean it looked rehearsed. Costa fell, slow and helpless, the fight beaten out of him. Adesanya followed him to the canvas, delivering the final blows until the referee stepped in. 3 minutes, 59 seconds into the second round, it was over. The undefeated champion stood tall, untouched, calm amid the wreckage of sculpted muscle.
Beautiful work here. Oh, right off the dome. I don't know how Costa ate that one.
But the elegance of Adesanya's art would soon give way to the opposite, a fight where chaos reigned, and muscle finally found its breaking point under relentless pressure. Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero. Robert the Reaper Whittaker, the clean-cut champion with a surgeon's precision, stood across from Yoel, soldier of God, Romero, a living monument to muscle, speed, and divine chaos. The first round was Whittaker's laboratory. He picked at Romero's legs with surgical sidekicks, jabs snapping through the Cuban's guard, forcing the beast to hesitate. Romero waited patient, expressionless, as if calculating something unseen. When Whittaker broke rhythm, Romero's right eye began to swell, nearly sealing shut.
To the body, side kick to the knee. He just constantly sticking him with that.
Blood ran. The Reaper stalked. Then came round three, the eruption. Romero detonated without warning, a blur of violence that sent Whittaker staggering. The overhand right landed flush. The uppercut that followed nearly finished it.
The takedown.
Oh! That's it right for Romero!
The champion's knees buckled, but his heart didn't. Drenched in sweat and blood, Whittaker fired back, elbows, knees, defiance. The cage turned into a furnace, two men burning their limits to ash.
Romero had a body lock briefly.
By the championship rounds, both were damaged beyond repair. Whittaker with a broken hand, Romero half blind and gasping.
Once again, you got to wonder about that right hand. He's almost exclusively lefts. Yeah, Whittaker is not throwing that right here anymore.
Still swinging like every punch carried God's permission. The final horn was mercy. The judges called it for Whittaker, but no one truly won. That night, the Reaper proved that technique can survive the storm, but not without scars. And the next battle would prove what happens when destruction learns how to aim. Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate 2. When Ronda Rousey met Miesha Tate inside the cage, it was beauty meeting brutality. One woman carved from discipline and dominance, facing another built from defiance and raw toughness. The bell rings and the chaos begins. Ronda wastes no time. 11 seconds in, fists fly at the center of the octagon. Then, like a judo master in motion, she drags Miesha down and pins her to the mat. The ground becomes her kingdom.
She's got to stay on the outside. She's dragged her to the ground.
Knees crash into Tate's thighs with mechanical precision, every strike a reminder that this isn't strength training, it's survival. Tate fights back, landing crisp front kicks and sharp counters. But Ronda's transitions are merciless. An armbar setup morphs into a triangle choke.
In full guard, though. She's got to be very careful when she's in full guard. You got to look out for these armbars.
And elbows rain down like hammers. The crowd roars, Tate refuses to quit. Then history is made. The clock hits, and for the first time, someone survives a full round with Ronda Rousey.
First time Ronda Rousey will fight in round 2. Wow.
By round 2, the atmosphere is electric. Ronda catches a takedown attempt, flips Tate with a judo throw that could shatter bones.
Miesha now looks for the takedown.
Oh my goodness.
And again, Ronda with that judo.
And chains into another armbar attempt. Tate escapes, impossibly, twisting through pain that would have ended most fights. Ronda switches to a triangle choke. Tate lives on seconds and grit.
To round 3.
This is an incredible fight.
Round 3 ends with the clinch, the throw, and the control. In under a minute, Ronda isolates the arm, the same brutal trap that's finished nearly everyone before.
Just does, but Miesha lands up on top. Look at this!
Wow.
The torque is instant. The crowd screams. The tap echoes like a gunshot through the arena.
Ronda Rousey remains the UFC.
Rousey showed the world what happens when dominance meets defiance. The next battle would abandon that entirely. Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. It started with tension thick enough to cut through steel. The crowd could sense it, two powerhouses about to collide. One built from muscle and grit, the other sculpted by the chaos of combat. Gilbert Burns, the shredded jiu-jitsu phenom with a bodybuilder's frame.
He hurt him bad.
Stood across from Khamzat Chimaev, a man built not for show, but for war. 17 seconds into the fight, Chimaev crashes forward like a predator unleashed.
Down so far. Chimaev with the clinch.
Clinching and ripping Burns down to the mat. The slam shakes the octagon floor. For the first time,
Khamzat is an elite wrestler.
Yeah, he's just dragging him around.
A true muscle machine is being smothered by wrestling precision. Burns throws desperate elbows from the bottom, each strike echoing off Chimaev's skull, yet the Chechen mauler doesn't blink. Then it happens, Chimaev's right hand detonates. Burns drops.
Oh, wow! Straight right hand!
The crowd erupts as blood spills from the top of his head, a crimson reminder that strength alone means nothing in the cage. Burns fights back on instinct, landing heavy counters that rattle Chimaev's jaw. And force him into deep waters for the first time. By round 3, both men are drenched in blood and exhaustion. Every strike is thrown with raw defiance. Chimaev's eyes stay locked, expression unbroken, hunting through chaos.
Any non-title fight.
Oh, but Chimaev starting to tee off.
Burns swings with heart, muscles trembling under fatigue, every punch fueled by pride. When the bell sounds, the arena stands.
What a fight! Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns go the full 15.
The verdict, unanimous decision, Chimaev victorious. Burns broken but unbowed. It wasn't a knockout. It was domination through will. In this war of flesh and fury, the bodybuilder met the fighter, and the fighter walked away undefeated. But around the world, new challengers kept stepping forward, each one about to learn the same painful truth all over again. Mikhail Koklyaev versus Alexander Emelianenko. Power meets precision. In one corner stands Mikhail Koklyaev, a mountain of muscle, a national strongman, a man used to moving cars and bending iron. Across from him, Alexander Emelianenko, cold, composed, forged by years of blood and chaos inside the ring. When these two Russian titans faced off, it was more than a fight, it was a collision between brute strength and lethal skill. The bell rings. Both men circle cautiously, the tension almost suffocating. Koklyaev moves forward, unpolished but fearless, throwing heavy punches like sledgehammers. The crowd roars as a left hand lands flush on Emelianenko's head, a brief spark of hope for the strongman. The problem? Alexander barely reacts. That's when the balance shifts. Emelianenko starts reading him, dissecting him. Every movement from Koklyaev becomes a tell, every punch a window for punishment. A clean right, then another. Each strike finds its mark with surgical precision. Koklyaev's arms begin to drop. The crowd senses it coming. Then the hammer falls. Emelianenko launches a right hand that detonates on Koklyaev's jaw. The strongman stumbles, legs gone, eyes glazed. The weightlifter built for war crumbles beneath the violence of experience. He tries to stand, swaying on unsteady legs, but the referee steps in mercy disguised as authority. The replay slows it down. The punch, collapse, silence. Emelianenko stands emotionless. Another reminder that in combat, muscle mass is nothing without mastery. Power met pure violence and lost. If that made your pulse race, hit like and share it. Subscribe for more raw fight stories because the next battle hits harder and you'll want front row seats. Leave a comment whose fall shocked you most.